They call him money for a reason. Floyd Mayweather isn't just undefeated in the ring, he's undefeated at living life larger than anyone else on the planet. In this video, we're diving deep into the billionaire boxer's jaw-dropping world. From his fleets of exotic cars and private jets, to palatial mansions and diamond-dripping luxuries. This isn't a boxing story. It's about how Mayweather transformed his fists into a billion-dollar empire and constructed a lifestyle that shouts extravagance around every turn. If you adore power, luxury, and legendary success, then hit that like button and smash subscribe to Ride with the Money team. So, let's get right to it and enter the realm of Floyd "Money" Mayweather. His lavish lifestyle is a product of fame, but it is fueled by his boxing revenues, business deals, and the fact that he can make smart financial choices. If one were to possess his wealth, they could be residing in multi-million-dollar homes, traveling the world in personal jets, possessing a huge library of expensive cars, and sporting jewelry that few others even dream about. However, Mayweather's tale is not one of merely spending. It is one of construction. Mayweather Promotions, his clothing company, the Money Team, and wise real estate investments are among the ways in which he has constructed a money-making empire that keeps growing. With his net value estimated at more than $1 billion, Floyd Mayweather has cemented his status as the richest athlete of all time, a man whose lifestyle of excess is as unparalleled as his record. Before he became known to the world as the billion-dollar boxer, Floyd Joy Mayweather Jr. was a kid growing up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, on February 24, 1977. He was born into a life of adversity. Poverty, a missing father, and a wayward mother might have shattered him, but boxing was his salvation. With his fate and showing the world that his tale would be told in triumph. Before dominating the pros, Floyd Mayweather established himself as an amateur with a career record of 84-8, 3 Golden Gloves championships, and an Olympic bronze medal in 1996. Nicknamed Pretty Boy for his impeccable defense and signature shoulder roll, he was already a player to be reckoned with. Going pro the same year, Mayweather did not waste time. Within 2 years, he won his first world championship, becoming the youngest member of the '96 Olympic team to achieve that feat. But it was his annihilation of the previously unbeaten Diego Corrales in 2001, 5 knockdowns in a single bout, that demonstrated Mayweather was more than special. He was meant to be one of the all-time greats. Having conquered the super featherweight class, Floyd Mayweather advanced to lightweight ranks, where even fiercer tests lay in store. His initial test was against the tough champion Jose Luis Castillo. Mayweather appeared outsized on paper. Castillo weighed more and was stronger on fight night. Had size mattered, the outcome would have been different. Mayweather battled with a sore shoulder, using footwork, timing, and defense to win by a unanimous decision. The win made him the WBC and lineal lightweight champion, although the decision was contentious. So, to put all controversy to rest, Mayweather gave Castillo an immediate return bout. This time in peak condition, he dominated the fight with quick jabs, nimble combinations, and lateral movement, leaving no controversy and keeping his throne. He then successfully defended against Victoriano Sosa and Philip Ndo. Against Ndo, a deadly puncher supported by Nelson Mandela's encouragement, Mayweather was in his element, breaking him down before demolishing him in the 7th round. At the end of 2003, Mayweather had not only dominated lightweight, but also cemented himself as part of the world's pound-for-pound best. Having conquered lightweight, Floyd Mayweather targeted the light welterweight division, keen on demonstrating his genius extended to higher weight categories. He made his debut against veteran DeMarcus "Chop Chop" Corley. Corley was a force to be reckoned with, yet Mayweather's accuracy and speed left little room for debate. He knocked Corley down twice and won by unanimous decision, earning him status as the WBC's #1 contender. Mayweather rose to 1 in the USA Today pound-for-pound ratings following that win, surpassing middleweight legend Bernard Hopkins. Then came Henry Bruceless, whom Mayweather methodically destroyed. Following 2 knockdowns in the 8th round, the bout was halted, paving the way for a battle with Arturo Gatti. The fight with Gatti, billed as a clash of styles, became a showcase of Mayweather's dominance. If heart and toughness alone could win, Gatti might have stood a chance. But Mayweather's speed, accuracy, and skill overwhelmed him. After 6 one-sided rounds, Gatti's corner stopped the fight, handing Mayweather his 3rd world title and cementing his place among boxing's elite. Once having dominated the lower ranks, Mayweather moved up into the welterweight division in 2005, ready to prove his genius against larger opponents. His first outing was against veteran Sharmba Mitchell. If experience was going to be the key for Mitchell, Mayweather's razor-sharp counters put an end to that thought in a hurry. A right to the head knocked Mitchell down in the 3rd, and one more to the body put him away in the 6th. The true test came with Zab Judah, a gifted but erratic champion. Judah began aggressively, even seeming to knock down Mayweather, though it was a slip that was called. But skill was not enough to sustain Judah past the early rounds. By the 5th, Mayweather had asserted himself, outclassing his opponent despite a wild 10th round melee that included both men's corners. In 12 rounds, Mayweather's precision spoke volumes, winning him a wide decision. Then came Carlos Baldemir, the tough champion who hadn't lost in more than 8 years. Toughness, however, wasn't enough to counter Mayweather's skill. Baldemir pursued, but Mayweather broke him down with jabs and counterpunches in what people dubbed a boxing clinic. A unanimous decision made him WBC and the ring welterweight champion. Having dominated the welterweight class, Floyd Mayweather stepped up to light middleweight for the bout the boxing world had been anticipating. A meeting with 6th Division champion Oscar De La Hoya on May 5, 2007. If it were size that mattered, De La Hoya would have won. He came into the ring in excess of 10 pounds heavier. But weight did not defeat skill. The fight broke pay-per-view marks, with 2.4 million homes watching, and more than $120 million earned. Inside, De La Hoya came out aggressively early, closing off Mayweather and throwing in bunches. But his shots often sailed by arms and shoulders. As the rounds went along, Mayweather's accuracy and timing made the difference. He outpacked De La Hoya, 207, 122 overall punches, and earned a split decision win, although most believed it would be unanimous. Having the WBC light middleweight title, Mayweather even intimated retirement, saying there was nothing further to prove. But the siren call of challenge drew him back down to welterweight. More than a year later, he faced Britain's undefeated sensation Ricky Hatton in the so-called undefeated. If Hatton expected pressure to crack Mayweather, he soon discovered otherwise. Mayweather set the tempo, wore Hatton down, and in the 10th round, finished him off with a perfectly placed left hook that knocked Hatton into the turnbuckle before finishing him off. The victory maintained Mayweather's unblemished record and re-established him as the sport's most well-rounded fighter. Following almost 2 years of retirement, Floyd Mayweather returned to action in 2009. His first opponent was no less a master technician and pound-for-pound star, Juan Manuel Marquez. On paper, there were questions as to whether the break would catch up on Mayweather, but the reality was far from it. Even though he weighed in 2 pounds above the 144-pound catchweight and had to pay a fine, as soon as the bout started, it was no longer an issue. If Marquez's plan was to probe Mayweather's timing, he soon learned he was pursuing illusions. Mayweather had connected with almost 60% of his punches, compared with 12% by Marquez. Thus, after 12 lopsided rounds, the unanimous decision made it no contest. Mayweather had not lost a step. Then arrived Shane Mosley in May 2010, a perilous old warrior with quickness and strength. For an instant in round 2, Mosley's vicious right hand made Mayweather's legs wobble, and if he had continued, the battle could have turned radically different. But Mayweather switched gears immediately, tightened his defense, and made the fight a display of proficiency. From round 3 on, Mosley hardly touched him. Thus, by the last bell, the scorecards were a landslide, and Mayweather demonstrated he could survive as well as overcome adversity. But the bout the world really wanted was Mayweather against Manny Pacquiao. The negotiations commenced, the hyperbole reached new heights, and had both parties agreed to terms, the fight could have broken every record on the books in boxing history. But negotiations fell apart over one thing. Mayweather's demand for Olympic-style drug testing. Pacquiao's team balked, suggesting a scaled-down version instead, and thus the deal was ruined. Pacquiao fought on, beating Joshua Clottey, while Mayweather remained steadfast, promising future opponents random testing. #meta, sex 0.5. The super fight would be put on ice, but Mayweather's return had already changed the script. He wasn't merely back, he was smarter, sharper, and still boxing's ultimate headache with no solution. Following the destruction of Victor Ortiz in 2011, Floyd Mayweather resurfaced in one of the most contentious conclusions in his career. Ortiz was beginning to come on in the fourth round, but gave up a point with a blatant headbutt. When the action resumed, Ortiz dropped his hands to apologize, and Mayweather dove in with a swift left hook and right hand that terminated the bout. Critics scoffed, but Mayweather's answer was straightforward. Protect yourself at all times. The fight drew in 1.25 million pay-per-view purchases, making him once more boxing's biggest attraction. He returned to light middleweight in May 2012 to fight Miguel Cotto. While Ortiz pushed him, Cotto aggressively pressed, forcing Mayweather into a merciless back and forth. But Mayweather's accuracy dominated the evening, winning him a unanimous decision, and what he afterwards referred to as one of his most difficult fights. The bout made $94 million on PPV buys, and Mayweather earned himself a record-setting $32 million guaranteed purse. That momentum was briefly halted when he spent some time in jail in mid-2012. But on his release, he came back more powerful than ever. He signed with Showtime in 2013 and eclipsed Robert Guerrero easily, then gave a masterclass in beatdowns against up-and-coming star Canelo Alvarez. At only 23, Alvarez was regarded as the future of boxing. But Mayweather educated him in every round, winning by majority decision in a bout which most considered to be a shutout. And then there was Marcos Maidana in 2014, a tough, rough brawler who gave Mayweather one of his toughest nights, pushing him to a majority decision. Their rematch several months later was more convincing, as Mayweather adapted to Maidana's tactic and glided to a unanimous victory, albeit not without controversy, with Maidana suspended for allegedly biting his glove. Lastly, on May 2, 2015, the world received what it had long awaited: Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Staged as the fight of the century, it set every record for revenue in the history of combat sports. Pacquiao pushed, but Mayweather's defense and counterpunches neutralized him, winning a clear, unanimous decision. For detractors, it fell short. But for Mayweather, it was validation. The greatest fighter defeating the greatest opponent on the grandest stage. Floyd Mayweather's second coming-out-of-retirement fight was in September of 2015 against Andre Berto. The fight was criticized from the beginning, with Berto having lost 3 of his last 6 fights, and many thinking Amir Khan or Kell Brook would have been better options. Nevertheless, Mayweather demonstrated why he was on a different level. He dictated the fight with crisp counters, precise jabs, and perpetual movement. After hurting his left hand in the 9th, he cruised to a wide unanimous decision, landing a record-high 56% of his punches. The evening concluded with Mayweather declaring his retirement at 49-0, matching Rocky Marciano's mythical mark. But rumors of a return soon emerged. Trademark applications for TBE 50 fueled the speculation, and in 2016, reports of a crossover battle with UFC megastar Conor McGregor ignited. Initially scoffed at by Dana White, the notion mushroomed into reality. In June of 2017, both men made the spectacle official. Mayweather versus McGregor, August 26th, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The bout was unprecedented in boxing. McGregor came out quick, winning early rounds with his unorthodox style. But Mayweather adhered to his game plan. allowing the MMA fighter to tire himself out. By round 4, McGregor was visibly tired, and Mayweather shifted the momentum with sharp right hands. By round 10, McGregor was spent, stumbling against the ropes as Mayweather unloaded clean shots until the referee intervened. Mayweather won his 50th bout, eclipsing Marciano's record and cementing his place in history. The fight was a financial behemoth, ringing up a $55 million live gate and hundreds of millions of pay-per-view sales internationally. Mayweather earned more than $300 million, with McGregor earning about $100 million. "This was my last fight," Mayweather announced, retiring at 50-0, flawless, after giving the fans a show they'd never forget. Even after retiring from professional boxing on a flawless 50-0, Floyd Mayweather could not stay away from the limelight. His transition into exhibitions started in Japan on New Year's Eve 2018, when he fought kickboxing sensation Tenshin Nasukawa. What was advertised as a spectacle turned out to be a one-round demolition, with Mayweather earning millions of dollars in a matter of minutes. Years later, the circus expanded further with Mayweather facing YouTube star Logan Paul in 2021. Although there was no official victor, Mayweather's accuracy pitted against Paul's size made for the story, racking up more than 1 million pay-per-view purchases and illustrating how money still had the capacity to draw international attention. And then the exhibitions continued. He battled ex-Spare partner Don Moore in Abu Dhabi, knocked out Japanese sensation Mikuru Asakura, and beat up on British YouTuber Deji in Dubai. Even Aaron Chalmers and John Gotti III were sharing the ring, with mayhem overflowing outside the ropes in good showman tradition. And now, Mayweather is getting ready for maybe his most jaw-dropping spectacle of all, an exhibition against the great Mike Tyson, later in 2026. Mayweather's displays might not constitute his greatness in the box, but they do demonstrate one thing. When Floyd gets into the ring, the world still watches. The gloves may change, the stage may shift, but Mayweather's aura never fades. From champions to celebrities, every fight becomes a global event. In boxing's grand theater, Floyd Mayweather remains the ultimate showman. #meta, pause, secutive, 05. That was a glimpse into the extravagant world of Floyd Mayweather, a fighter who turned his fists into fortune and built a legacy as boxing's billion-dollar king. If you love this journey through money, fame, and glory, don't just watch, be part of it. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next story of greatness. #meta, pause, sex, 05. Drop a comment with your favorite Mayweather moment and share this video with anyone who loves the mix of luxury and legacy.